there's a really good chance that Kelly and the girls would still be alive if Rob had not been given his gun licence. He was even allowed to upgrade from a shotgun to a firearms licence, and he purchased the gun he used to kill the family only 9 days before he killed them. And by upgrading to a firearm, he was able to shoot them all without having to reload.
Robert Needham, 42, used a legally held shotgun to kill Ava, 4, and Lexi, 2, at close range. He then fired at Kelly Fitzgibbons, 40, hitting her in the arm before a fatal shot to her head, at their £600,000 home in West Sussex. Their dog Billy was also killed with the gun bought days earlier by Needham, who then took his own life. It was later revealed that just a week before the shootings, Mr. Needham bought a semi-automatic shotgun from a registered firearms dealer, telling him he needed it to shoot pigeons. His 2 girls, who were described as angelic and mischievous, they were found lying side by side on the double bed in their parents' bedroom. Miss Fitzgibbons, a legal secretary, was found lying face down on the floor, while Mr. Needham was found in the hallway with the gun cradled in his arms and the barrel pointing towards his head. Police said officers also found Bill, the family's Staffordshire Bull Terrier, shot dead in the landing. In total, 6 spent shotgun cartridges were found in the property. Text messages in the 2 months leading up to lockdown showed there were tensions in their relationship, with Kelly raising the possibility they should take a break. The hearing was told Mr. Needham had been suffering financial problems in the run-up to the COVID lockdown in March 2020. The family had earlier moved into Mr. Needham's family home to help care for his mother, Maureen, 77, after his father died in 2017. They lived upstairs rent-free while his mother lived in a granny flat downstairs. Mr. Needham was building an extension to the house, but the family had run into financial problems and had stopped contributing to the bills. The builder had also been forced to take out a loan of £20,000 from his mother to cover his family's day-to-day living. She also entered an equity release agreement for £180,000 to help fund the building of the extension. Miss Fitzgibbons' twin sister had said she did not believe the couple had any serious money worries. She said, "I got the impression they were okay for money. They could afford nights out and nice things." Hair sample tests showed Mr. Needham had previously been a cocaine user and had been forced, in the past, to see a doctor over damage the drug had caused to his nose. The hearing was also told in the days leading up to the killings he had twice tried to get hold of the drug without success. Miss Ambler said she had no idea Mr. Needham had recently purchased a shotgun and kept it at the house, but said her twin sister wouldn't have told her because she would have known she wouldn't have approved. The inquest heard how Needham had a history of mental illness and an official caution for theft but omitted it when applying for a firearms license in 2016. He was issued with a firearms license despite admitting the lies to a police officer, a coroner was told. He then used the certificate to buy a semi-automatic shotgun shortly before killing his family. The bodies were found by Kelly's uncle Ronald Peacock, who climbed a ladder into their family bedroom. The killings shocked the village's close-knit community, with locals claiming Mr. Needham appeared to be a dedicated family man. Just 48 hours before the tragedy, Miss Fitzgibbons posted a series of images online showing the whole family enjoying a walk in the sunshine. The inquests continue.
I take a lot of strength in the fact that Dad is still with me, because for a few hours I thought I had nobody and that I was alone in the world. So for Dad to make such an immense recovery, I take a lot of strength from that, and day to day it's a case of remembering my mum and brother and the happy times we had, and I know they'd be very proud of us and what we'd achieved so far, and they'd want us to carry on, so we will.
Tracy Wilkinson came upon Aaron Barley, a homeless man in his early 20s, huddled in a cardboard box outside a supermarket in Stourbridge. The sight of Barley stopped Tracy in her tracks, and she decided to help. Her husband, Peter Wilkinson, said, "My wife was a very compassionate woman. She did voluntary work helping old people. She was very chatty and made people feel at ease. She wouldn't see harm come to anybody. She liked to help people." Aaron Barley had no money and no food, so Tracy would organize breakfast and dinner for him every day. Peter Wilkinson gave Barley labouring work at one of his businesses in Newport, South Wales, and it went well for 5 months. But in September 2016 he went off the rails. He started taking drugs and, as a business, they had to let him go. The Wilkinsons lost contact with Barley after he was sacked. But early one morning in late October or early November 2016, Peter Wilkinson found Barley sleeping in the corner of their driveway. Peter got him up and made him some tea. He'd been on the streets and had been badly beaten. He was covered in bruises, and Tracy decided that as a family, they should help him again. They managed to find him council accommodation, and he did odd jobs for the family to earn cash. Barley had secured full-time work and a new flat. He would come for dinner once or twice a week to the Wilkinsons. On March 30th, chilling footage captured Barley lurking in the Wilkinson family's garden just moments before he launched his deadly attack. He can be seen crawling across the lawn like a ninja as he waited for Peter to take the family dog for a walk. Barley then crept through an unlocked door. On Peter's return home, he could remember looking through the window thinking that everybody must have overslept. In fact, Tracy Wilkinson was dead upstairs. Tracy was found naked, not breathing on her bedroom floor. She had been stabbed 20 times. And the couple's 13-year-old son, Pierce, was stabbed with such force one of the blows almost divided his spinal cord. On his return home, Peter had opened the back door, and as he did, Barley jumped out, all dressed in black, with a big knife held above his head, and started stabbing Peter. He stabbed him 6 times, twice in the face, twice in the abdomen, and twice in the back. He had said to Peter, "Die," as he stuck the knife into him. Peter said to him after he'd stabbed him, "Aaron, we tried to help you, and he stuck the knife into my stomach and said, 'Die, you bastard.'" The attack stopped and Peter Wilkinson heard the sound of his car being driven off. The shocking footage shows the drug addict racing away from the murder scene in a frantic bid to escape. Barley is seen breaking into the Land Rover on CCTV, while dashcam footage captures him mounting onto pavements and weaving in and out of traffic. Peter dialed 999 and staggered into the garden, collapsing into a patio chair. The next thing Peter remembered is ambulances turning up and hearing helicopters overhead, and the police arrived. Peter had told the ambulance men to go into the house. He remembers one coming out and saying, "1 deceased and 1 in cardiac arrest." Peter knew at that point that he had most likely lost Tracy and Pierce. He was then taken to hospital, where he thought he was going to die. Lydia, 19, the couple's daughter, was away studying at Bristol University. After hearing there had been a stabbing in Stourbridge, she searched online for news of the incident and saw an image of her house surrounded by police tape. Police officers broke the news to her that her mother and brother were dead, and her father was seriously injured. Lydia had to identify the bodies of her mother and brother. Peter Wilkinson spent 11 nights in hospital, and the news of his loved ones' deaths was heartbreaking to him. "The physical scars will heal, the mental scars never will," he said. Paying tribute to her mother, a former champion ballroom dancer, and brother, Lydia said, "My mum was stunning. She had a beautiful personality. She was just very caring and helpful. Lydia was due to come home the day after and pick out a dress for her university ball with her mother. Pierce was just handsome, funny, clever. He was very personable. Everybody made friends with Pierce. He could make friends in an empty room. Her father said, "My wife cared for others, and it's just so tragic that after trying to help people and to help Aaron, that he should turn on us in this way for no apparent reason." During police interviews, Barley, 23 at the time, refused to say why he had attacked the family. "There's no motive, there is no explanation," said Peter Wilkinson. "My personal feeling is that he'd lost his job, he lost his flat. And he decided that because his life was going bad ways, he was going to take it out on the people that had cared and looked after him. I wish we had never met him, I wish my wife had never set eyes on him." On December 21 his sentence was increased by the Court of Appeal to a minimum of 34 years and 178 days.